In today's episode, I have a very special guest for you, and her name is Tracy Beavers. She's been on our show before, and she just has such a wealth of knowledge about having an email list, why you should have one, and how you can really grow that email list on autopilot in the background of your business while you're doing your other items for your business. I just love how she really simplifies, makes this easy, and makes it not overwhelming for us. So be sure to stay tuned to listen to some of Tracy's awesome tips that she's going to give us. Welcome to the E-commerce Made Easy podcast. I'm your host, Carrie Saunders. When we started this business, all I had was a couch, a laptop, and a 9-month-old. My main goal? To help others. Now, with over 20 years in the e-commerce building industry and even more than that in web development, I have seen a lot. I love breaking down the hard tech into easily understandable bits to help others be successful in their online business. Whether you're a seasoned e-commerce veteran or just starting out, you've come to the right place. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the world of e-commerce together. All right, welcome back to the show. So today we have a repeat special guest with us today. I'm so excited to have Tracy Beavers back on our show. And she is just a great visibility and list building strategist and even just a great business coach as well. So Tracy, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and a little bit more about what you do?
Thanks for having me, Carrie. It's always fun to be with you. I am Tracy Beavers. I'm a business and sales coach from Little Rock, Arkansas. And I've been in the online space about 7 years, but 5 years officially. I sort of dabbled in it before I decided I was going to go all in. And over the years, what I realized was that a lot of my clients and students were coming to me with awesome offers that they'd created, but they didn't have anybody to buy them. And I realized that visibility, growing an audience, and more specifically, growing an email list was really the key to help them get where they wanted to go in terms of income. So I have evolved over the past few years into calling myself and being a visibility and list growth strategist. And so I am the list growth coach that teaches you how to gain massive visibility online where it looks like, and you have people telling you, oh my gosh, I see you everywhere. Are you online 24/7? So it looks like you are, but you're really not. That's the secret. And then all of that visibility leading directly to your email list, because that's where we're going to convert your subscribers into buyers, loyal listeners, repeat clients, referral partners, all that good stuff that generates income in the long term for our business.
And I think that's a great point that you bring out there because a lot of people say, oh, email list, it's great. You really need to have one. And I know we hear it a lot, but sometimes we don't really listen to that advice. So,
Yeah.
can you give us some compelling reasons as to why email list is really that big of a deal and why it's not dead even in 2025?
Yeah, for sure. That's a great question. I think people are starting to realize the importance of an email list. And I have always said every single business needs an email list. Doesn't matter if it's a Chick-fil-A franchise or Tracy Beavers coaching or a massage therapist or a boutique or a water restoration company or a network marketing representative. It doesn't matter what kind of business it is. We all need an email list. And one of the biggest reasons why is because we don't own social media. We do not own these platforms, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, TikTok. These things could disappear tomorrow. And at the time of this recording, there's a lot of, hubbub about whether or not TikTok is going to survive in the US. And a couple of years ago, Facebook and Instagram went dark for about 36 hours. And when the lights came back on, I'm in the Meta Leaders Network, and I have been for a few years, and we're in a Facebook group. And it was really sad because when the lights came back on and we all got to be able to be back in that group, a lot of business owners lost a lot of money because they did not have an email list and they had no way of contacting their clients. Versus people like you and I follow Amy Porterfield. She said that she made about $14,000 in that 36-hour period because she has an email list and because it didn't matter that Facebook and Instagram went dark. She could still send out an email about her program and still make sales. And so, for that reason alone, I think it's incumbent upon us to really take it seriously. The other thing is that we don't own not only do we not own the social media platforms, but we can't control them. And anybody that says they understand the algorithm, I'm just like, really? You are not telling the truth because that algorithm is so confusing. And so, a very small percentage of people that we want to see our stuff will actually see our stuff on social media. A very small percentage of people will actually watch us go live. I mean, so we can't control the algorithm, and just not as many people are going to see our stuff. But if I can send an email to my list, I am literally landing in what I call the living room of that person. When I land in your inbox, it's like I've landed in your living room. And I'm like, hey, Carrie, here I am, right in the middle of your living room. But I have your attention there, right?
Well, and that's really a good point because the algorithm's always changing on these social media platforms. It's so
Yes.
very well known that's always
Right.
changing.
Hmm.
Even just the other week, I had people commenting on my posts from weeks ago
Yeah.
when that doesn't normally happen. So
Right.
they've changed something in the algorithm that's now showing these older posts
Hmm.
to my network as well. So you just never know when your message is going to hit. And if you had something timely, like a
Hmm.
timely post, and they see it 2 weeks later and that's already over, your timeliness is over, your webinar is over, your sale is
Right.
over, they missed it. But we got with email, like you said, you can just drop right into their living room, dining room, or wherever they're reading your
Yep.
email and get their attention right then and there. And it's a nice captive audience that should
Hmm.
already know you pretty well because they decided to join your email list.
Exactly, exactly right. And the majority of people, I was doing a presentation for the Arkansas Podcast Festival back in November, and it was all about list growth. And as podcasters, even why is it important for podcasters to pay attention to having an email list? And some of the statistics, I'm trying to remember what they are right now. I don't remember the specifics, but one of them was that overwhelmingly the majority of people prefer to consume content that they think is important in their email inbox versus hunting and pecking for it on social media.
That's definitely true because you can use the search features of your email and
Hmm.
find what you're looking for much faster. I don't care how good Facebook or LinkedIn or whatnot searches are.
Hmm.
It's still hard sometimes to find the content you want, especially if you're in multiple groups and
Yes.
have lots and lots of friends on your page. So I can totally see how that relates.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's pretty
So,
important.
yeah, it totally is. And I will say too, and just to reiterate too, our company used to send newsletters regularly monthly, like
Hmm.
because that was just what you did was about once a month, not every week or every other week. Back in the day, we did a 3-year hiatus on sending emails. It was during like the COVID time period and just some staff changes, and we just didn't have the capacity to send the emails.
Yeah.
And I relearned, how important email marketing was, and so I was determined to revive my old email list. I scraped it, make sure I had valid emails again. I
Hmm.
started emailing my customers again in, I believe it's 2022. And you know what happened within a week or two of me doing that?
Hmm.
I got a brand new customer that had bought from me, I would say probably 7 or 8 years ago before that, bought just something simple off my website, but then they decided to have consulting services with us. So even if I want to just give people permission out there. If you haven't been emailing your list, it's okay. And just
Yeah.
start back up again. Just get it started again. And you might
Right.
reap the benefits right away, just like I did.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, people think, that's a good question that I get asked sometimes is, okay, I haven't emailed my list in 3 years. What do I say? I'm like, don't make a big deal out of it. Just send the email and go, hey, if you want to, you go, hey, took a 3 year break. It's over. Here I am. Good to see you. Let's pick up where we left off, my friend. And you don't need to give a big explanation, or you could just say nothing at all. You could just say, hey, Gary, how's it going?
That's very true.
Yeah.
So then, we have this email list, but we always are wanting to grow our email list. And I know
Yeah.
you're really good at some strategies on how to grow your email list automatically and organically in
Yeah.
the everyday background of our business. So, what are some advice? What are some tips you want to give around that?
Yeah, thanks. That's what I do like to say that the strategies I teach, get the email list growing automatically every day in the background of the business. I'm not the list growth coach that's going to tell you to create yet another free lead magnet and put it out on social media, because chances are you've already done that and it's working fine, but you need more strategies to get more list growth. And so, and that's how I developed my strategies. I was frustrated. I was building this business alongside my corporate job, and I had the lead magnets out there, and my list was growing, and that was fine, but it wasn't growing fast enough for me. I am super impatient, and I wanted out of corporate yesterday. And so I thought there's got to be other ways to do this. And so I developed over 10 strategies that I teach in my program called Business Visibility Made Easy. And one of the simplest strategies is something that once you set it up, it'll work for you without you even having to think about it. And that's your Facebook personal profile, or even your Instagram personal profile, or your LinkedIn profile, whatever social media profile you have, wherever you have it. We need to make sure that it is a list growth funnel for you. So the specific strategy I teach Facebook. That's my jam. That's where our clients are. It is still the number one platform. And people that are sleeping on Facebook and thinking it's not worth their time, I would love to have a conversation with them, because it so is worth their time. But when we max out our Facebook personal profile, when somebody can land on my Facebook personal profile and they know exactly who I am, who I serve, how I serve them, they can see every link that I have: my website, my Pinterest, my YouTube, my Instagram, my LinkedIn, my podcast, my Facebook group, and that so that they can take their choice of how to connect with me. And then my cover photo showcases something that leads to my email list. So for me, we have two different cover photos we use. One is featuring my free Facebook group. Because of the way I have my membership entry questions set up for my free group, it grows my list when people join. And then if we're not showcasing the free group, because I'm in launch of my 8-week group coaching program, we'll showcase my free live masterclass, and come grab your spot in the free live masterclass. And that also grows my list. And so the beauty of that is, another strategy I teach is the strategies I teach, we layer them in the right order. So we start with a foundational piece that's as easy as your Facebook personal profile. And then later on, I teach a strategy about being visible and networking in Facebook groups where your ideal clients are hanging out, even groups that don't allow promotion. I am visible in Facebook groups every day, and people want to join my list. And here's the coolest part: I haven't had to post about my group. I have not, they want to join my group, I'm sorry, which makes them land on my list. But I haven't had to post about my group. I haven't had to say anything about my group. I have not sent them an invitation in the DMs to my group. What happens is I am in the group, being myself, being visible, being kind, answering questions where I can answer them, helping people with feedback on stuff, cheering somebody on. People get curious about me. They click on my personal profile. They go to my personal profile. They see who I am, who I serve, how I serve them. And then they see my cover photo and they're like, oh, I want to join that free live masterclass. Boom. They land on my email list. I haven't had to do anything other than show up in a community, be supportive and be kind, and share what I know and share my knowledge and expertise. It's beautiful. And so therefore your email list starts growing automatically every day, just because of the daily action you're taking by being visible to other people in a Facebook group.
I actually love that because I can so relate, and because I think you know this story, but people listening might not. Back in the early 2000s, totally dating myself here, that's how I grew our business, is I was helping in an online forum. Now that
Uh-huh.
wasn't Facebook, right? But it was still an online forum with my ideal clients in it. But I
Yeah.
was just in there genuinely helping people, answering
Yes.
technical questions, and helping people as best I could, in an
Yeah.
online forum. And people get curious. They would
Yep.
click on my profile, find my business webpage, and
Yep.
then contact us and get services and products from
Yeah.
us. So it's just a modernized way of doing that now, because
Mhm.
forums are mostly dead. There are a few out there that are still active, but forums are mostly dead now. But communities like Facebook groups and other places that have communities are a perfect place
Yep.
to be that social helper, to
Yes.
get those natural leads from you without having to work your butt off trying to cold
Exactly.
DM, or trying to make friends with people you don't know, and being really weird and awkward, just like you'd feel like you're a new kid in a classroom and trying to go into school and make weird, make friends weirdly. No, you just go in and be yourself and be friendly, and that just
Right.
happens naturally, right? So
Mhm.
it's kind of similar. I love how you teach that natural method so that we're not spammy, so that
Right.
we're just being us and being our helpful selves,
Mhm. Yeah,
and it all works out that way.
it does. It does. I have hundreds of people join my free group every single month, which grows my list. And half the time I haven't had a conversation with any of them. It's so much fun because it's because they want to join my group. I didn't have to ask them. I didn't have to invite them or convince them or anything. It's really fun.
That's the perfect way to get people in, is
Yeah.
having them just want to be there. Like you don't want to force anybody there, then that kind of puts a bad taste in their mouth. So I just love that
Yeah.
how you do it so naturally.
Thanks. Thanks. But that's one of the many strategies. Those two strategies together are the demonstration of how you can grow your email list every day in the background of your business. Because people ask me all the time, they're like, how many hours a week do you spend on list growth? It must be a lot. And the first time I was asked that question, I was like, it must be a lot because my list grows by a lot every month. And I am a list growth coach. But then I thought about it and I'm like, I really don't set aside time each week. Like I might set aside time to create some social media content or create a new lead magnet or do a collaboration, a podcast interview, or something like that. Those are the things I focus on. Those things all grow my list. So I don't have to think about the list growth. It just happens.
I just love that. And I love how you just make it so easy too, and
Thanks.
reachable for anybody, really.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
So I know that you have an awesome masterclass coming up. I've attended it myself as well. And can you tell us a little bit more about that masterclass that's coming up?
Absolutely. I would love to. So, my free live masterclass, I'm going to teach you 4 simple strategies that you can use that same day to grow your list like I do, like Carrie does, on autopilot in the background of your business. They have to do with social media content. There's some mistakes you might be making there. Your Facebook personal profile, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about your Facebook business page. Yes, you still need one. It's still important. And what you really can do with it as a list growth funnel. And then I think the fourth strategy is the reason why most people show up. And it's the one I kind of mentioned a little bit here, how to network and be visible in Facebook groups that don't allow promotion of any kind. Because a lot of people think, well, I can't promote, so I can't, there's no reason to be in the group. Well, no, 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 no. Come listen, come to the masterclass and let me teach you those 4 strategies. I'm going to give you 2 free bonuses just for showing up live with me. One is my Facebook growth toolkit, which is best practices for Facebook. And then the other one I'm really excited about. It's called New Clients in 30 Days. It gives you some strategies and techniques you haven't considered before. I mean, who doesn't want new clients in 30 days? I mean, we all do. So you get 2 free bonuses when you show up live. And then full disclosure, because I'm all about honesty and transparency. After I've taught you those strategies, I'm going to tell you about my list growth program. It's called Business Visibility Made Easy. Carrie is a proud alum of the program. I loved having her as a student, and now she's in our alumni mastermind. And the Business Visibility Made Easy program is 8 weeks of live strategy sessions with me where I answer every single question. I think people don't believe me when I say that, but I really do. And I teach you my over 10 strategies for list growth that have nothing to do with paid ads. And I'm not the list growth coach that's going to tell you, oh, just create another free lead magnet and put it out on social media. Because chances are you already done that. I'm going to teach you everything else you can do to grow your list.
Yeah, and I just love that because, and actually, I'm really looking forward to that last bonus, by the way. That one piqued my interest because
Yes.
I'm always looking for new strategies. Um, but yes, your business visibility made easy course was, I can say it was the best course I've ever taken in my business
Oh,
life.
thank you.
It ranks up there with some other really good ones too, but like
Thanks.
it helped me see easy ways to really grow my email
Mhm.
list that I hadn't really thought of, that were, just simple to implement. It wasn't overly complicated. When you were talking to me about it originally before I joined it, I was, in a bit of a budget crunch then too, but my
Yeah.
something in my gut said, no, you really need to do this. And it has so helped me grow my email list, my
Mhm.
customers, my confidence in this rebuild of our business that we've been doing. And it's just been a gem to be in your course and in your alumni mastermind. So I
Thank
totally will
you.
vouch for your course. I think it's well laid out. And one thing that I really loved about it, and I do want to mention this, is I loved how I didn't feel overwhelmed.
Oh, that's music to my ears.
I really did.
Oh,
Because you
my
release your
ears.
content every other week, as a busy business owner, I felt like I could consume it and still feel like I had, the brain power to ask you questions. And when
Yeah.
Tracy says she answers every question, she's not lying. She really does. And she will go over on the calls if needed, if people still have more questions. And we always have a great, lively Facebook group that the students can ask questions that they think of before the next, live Q&A call. So I just felt so supported in it. And it was honestly one of the best courses I've ever taken.
Thank you. That just makes my heart so happy. And the fact that you did not feel overwhelmed, that you, as a business owner, felt like you had time to go through the modules. Because you know this about me, Carrie, because we've known each other for so long. I do things simply. Business growth does not have to be a struggle. More is not more. I want to give people what they need to execute with precision and to start seeing that list growth happening. And then if we want to get fancy with it later, we can. But I want to keep it simple in the beginning so that people can really execute on the strategies and understand them and the importance of them and get excited about it so their confidence does grow.
So another thing I really loved about your course and honestly your alumni mastermind is the diverse people that are in there, the diverse business backgrounds that are in there. We all
Yeah.
have such different skill sets that we're just great at supporting each other.
Yes.
Me being very technical, I can help the people with the
Mhm.
technical stuff. The other people who are very creative can help me with the creative stuff.
Mhm.
The people who aren't overthinkers like me, I'm such an overthinker, I will admit that. They can help me like back up and say, wait, you're overthinking it. Let's
Mhm.
just look at this. And so it's just a great set of people who really support each other and we really care for each other's businesses and we help each other outside of
Mhm.
the alumni mastermind. We're messaging in Messenger or getting on Zoom calls and just jumping in and helping people whenever they need it. So I just love
Yeah.
the people you attract to your systems.
Thanks. I love the students and the alums too. And it is a diverse group. You know, people ask me, they say, well, it looks like this program is for beginners. It's not. Carrie, you're not a beginner. You've been in business 20,000 years.
Over 20.
Yeah, I mean, over 20 years, multi seven figure business. We had some other students in at the same time you were that were also in that realm. Amy Pearl, over 25 years for her seven figure business. But then we also have people that are just starting out. They know who their ideal client is. They know who they want to serve and how they want to do it. And they have a lead magnet or two, but that's it. Some of them don't have a website, which is great for people like you who are like, I can help you with a website because you know darn well I am not going to help anybody with a website. Tech is not my love language, but I got you on the marketing and the sales and the list growth. But that's what I think what makes it so fun is that, yes, I am the lead coach in that student program for 8 weeks. And I'm in that student only Facebook group answering questions 24/7. I mean, all week on weekends too. My office doesn't close. And then when we get done with the 8 weeks together, everybody's invited into the alumni mastermind that Carrie is talking about, where it truly has become. I started it as a membership, but then I realized, no, this is more of a mastermind. Because, yeah, I'm the lead coach there, but I mean, we have experts on everything. Just like Carrie said, we have Carrie is our tech, one of our tech people. We have a WordPress expert. We have a life coach. We have an AI expert. I mean, it's wild and so fun, and everybody has an opinion to help the other people with feedback on whatever they're creating. So, do you want to share with anybody? I feel like I've talked. I keep talking. I'm such a talker. Do you want to share with people, like, I know you mentioned clarity and confidence. Is there anything else you've noticed that has happened as a byproduct of being in the program?
I would say my visibility has completely grown and just exploded, especially this past year. For one, whenever you get to know these mastermind ladies and men that are in it, they get to know what you're great at. So whenever they hear somebody having a need that you can solve, they're
Yeah.
referring you left and right. So I've been getting so many referrals just from the group itself, as well, and it's just
Yeah.
It's just been great to have that snowball effect for that I didn't really even expect.
Yeah. I love that you said that because that's a visibility strategy that I have used my entire life. Meaning, if I can be a connector for one person to connect them to another person, in that moment, I've not increased my income. They're not buying anything from me. But what's happened is I've increased my visibility as the go-to person. Oh, Tracy solved my tech problem by connecting me with Carrie Saunders, who saved my rear end. So if I connect Susie with you and you save Susie's life, she's going to think of me. Next time somebody says, I need a list growth coach, she's going to be like, okay, first of all, Tracy's the pro at that. But second of all, she really cares about people. She connected me with Carrie, who saved my rear end and saved me thousands of dollars. Do you see how that works? It's kind of a, so I love that because you're right. It's like when I'm in Facebook groups and somebody says, I've got a DNS, DMARC, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm throwing stuff out like I know what I'm talking about. Issue. I'm like, oh, Carrie. I start looking at the tech lingo. I'm like, nope, just Carrie. I'm going to tag Carrie. Or if somebody says, I have a WordPress issue, Shelly Hill. I'm stuck in Trello, Shannon Gaither. Or I need help looking at my funnel, Shannon Gaither. It's amazing. It's amazing how everybody hops in and helps. I love it.
It really is. And I love how you foster that. You really foster that in the group, I feel like. So that I think that comes from you. So I do want to give you some kudos there.
Thanks. Thanks. I appreciate that.
So you're welcome. So for those of you listening and want to learn more about Tracy's masterclass, you can get to my affiliate link for Tracy's masterclass because I'm a total believer in her system. It's at ecommercemadeeasypodcast.com/BVME. Again, we'll put that in the show notes, but it's ecommercemadeeasypodcast.com/BVME. So are there any final words you'd like to say about list growth and making your email work better for you before we sign off here?
Sure. I'll just say this that and I always say business growth does not have to be a struggle. You can find out ways to grow your business that are easy, that are simple, that feel like you, that flow easily for you day in, day out, week in, week out, so that you can stay consistent with your growth. And that's what we teach in Business Visibility Made Easy. So I would love for everybody to grab the link to come join us in the live masterclass. Grab Carrie's affiliate link and come join us. And then let me tell you about the program. And if you have any questions about the program, I know Carrie wouldn't mind if you reached out to her. And I would love to meet with you too. If you want to hop on a short Zoom call with me, my DMs are always open. My email inbox is always open. And I'd love to have a conversation.
Thank you so much, Tracy, for being on our show and for, again, helping us with some list building strategies and just building that confidence back in using email as a great way to connect with our customers.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now, wasn't that such a great conversation that we had with Tracy Beavers? She has such a wealth of knowledge, and I love how she makes things simple and easy and really kind of steps us through those next steps we need to be making with our email list and how we can put that all on autopilot and be doing the things we enjoy in our business instead of grinding on getting people on our email list. If you love this show, I'd love for you to rate it on your favorite podcast player. It really helps spread the word to others, and we just really appreciate that. And if you have any questions at all, you're always welcome to email us at podcast@bcsengineering.com. And you can also find our podcast on YouTube as well. And we will see you next week.